Hello everybody, this video is on force versus time graphs. Previously on the video about impulse, we discussed that impulse in physics refers to the change of momentum of a mass in motion. And we also discussed that impulse is given by the net force applied on an object multiplied by the time duration over which the force is applied. So we can also say that the change in momentum, which is impulse, equals to the product of force and time. Now, in many examples in physics, you will be given a force versus time graph, where the time is on the x-axis and force applied is on the y-axis. On these graphs, the area under the line or the curve represents the force multiplied by the time over which the force is applied. This is then equal to the change in momentum of the object or the impulse due to the force. In simpler words, the area under this curve of a force versus time graph is equal to the change in momentum of the object. Let's dive straight into an example. A force versus time applied on a mass is shown by the graph. What is the change in momentum due to the force applied? So we have a force versus time graph, and to find the change in momentum, we can simply calculate the area under this graph. You can calculate the area in two ways. You can divide the shape of the graph into three parts, forming two triangles and one rectangle. So you can calculate the total area by finding the areas of the three shapes individually. Alternatively, you can also recognize that this shape is a trapezium, and the area of the trapezium is given by half times by the height of the trapezium times by side A plus side B, where A and B are the shorter and longer sides respectively. So we have the height of the trapezium H and the shorter side A and the longer side, which is B. In this case, the height will be equal to 300 newtons multiplied by the shorter side, which would be 3 small squares. So this goes from 2 seconds to roughly 3.5 seconds. So 3.5 minus 2, you will get 1.5 seconds plus side B, the longer side of the trapezium. This will be a total of 5 seconds. And this gives me a total area of 975. And the unit for this will be Newton second, which is simply the SI units of the y-axis and x-axis multiplied by together. And since we said earlier the change in impulse is equal to the area under the curve, this is in fact my change in momentum of the object, 975 Newton second, or you can write this as the alternative unit of kilograms meters per second. A 60 kilogram mass starts moving from rest due to an applied force as shown by the graph. Part A, calculate the speed of the mass at t equals to 5 seconds. So again, we can use the area under this graph to calculate the change in momentum due to the force applied. So the change in momentum here is equal to, again, the area under this trapezium, where the height is given by this, and the A side is the shorter side of trapezium, while the B side is the longer side of trapezium. So the area here will be half times by the height, which would be 400 newtons, times by side A. So this goes from 2 seconds to 5 seconds, which will be 3, plus side B, which will be a total of 5 seconds. This gives me a change in momentum of 1600 Newton second. Now, since the 60 kilogram mass started to move from rest, its initial momentum would have been 0. So that means the final momentum of the mass is 1600 Newton second, or you can write this as kilograms meters per second. So momentum is equal to mass times by the velocity, so this is equal to 1600. The mass of the object is 60 kilograms, that means the final speed will be 1600 divided by 60 kilograms, and this gives a number of 26.7 meters per second. Part B, calculate the work done from t equals 0 to t equals to 5. Now in this instance, the work done is transformed into the object's kinetic energy. So work done is equal to the change in object's kinetic energy, which is equal to half mv squared minus half mu squared. As discussed earlier, the initial speed of the object is 0 as it started moving from rest. So the total work done is simply equal to the final kinetic energy of the object, which is half times by 60 kilograms times by the final velocity that we calculated earlier, of 26.7 squared. And this gives a work done of 2.1 times 10 to the power 4 joules. A 0.2 kilogram ball is thrown at 5 meters per second at a frictionless wall as shown. The magnitude of force exerted by the wall on the ball during the contact over time is shown by the graph. At what speed does the ball rebound off the wall? So when the ball is in contact or collides with the wall will exert a normal force directed in the opposite direction as the initial velocity of the ball. And this, of course, will cause the ball to rebound off the wall and have a velocity in the opposite direction. So we can first start the question by considering the change in momentum of the ball due to the applied force. And this is calculated by finding the area of the triangle underneath the graph here. The area of the triangle is given by half times by the base times by its height. The base is on the x-axis and the height is on the y-axis as shown here. Now keep in mind that the unit for the x-axis is in milliseconds, so we need to modify the numbers when we're finding the area. So the change in momentum equals to half times by the base, which will go from 3 milliseconds to 7 milliseconds. This is a total of 4 times by 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds, multiplied by the height of the triangle, which goes to 800 newtons. So times by 800 here. Now, as we discussed earlier, the force direction is opposite to the initial velocity of the ball. So if we define the initial velocity of 5 meters per second as positive, then the force that's applied on the ball must be negative, as it is in the opposite direction. Although the graph shows the forces as positive values, in this equation we should actually add a negative in front of the force, just to denote the direction of the force, as it is a vector quantity. This will give me an answer of minus 1.6 newtons second, or kilograms meters per second. We know that the change in momentum is equal to the final momentum, mv, minus mu, which is the initial momentum of the ball. The mass of the ball will not change, it will remain at 0.2 kilograms during the collision. So this is equal to 0.2 times by the final speed that we want to calculate, minus 0.2 times by the initial velocity of 5 meters per second. So the final velocity here is minus 3 meters per second. And since we only want the speed would be the magnitude only, which is 3 meters per second. This concludes the video on force versus time graphs.